One major fight is going to decide this map without a shadow of a doubt. There's the headshot. Needs one more.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guns of Boom Challenger Series. We are finishing off the spring series with our North American Cup now as we move into some of our final matches for the season here in NA. Once again, Jason Kaplan is with me. What do we have on the docket for today here in NA?
I don't know which route you want me to go with this one, but I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you could
be clear with you guys. None of the matches really matter today, North America. Again, not really going to beat around the bush on that one. I know you kind of obviously want us to, build it up, make it exciting for you, but no. Impact, Eanix, 100% through, and 100% through in their current standings as well. So Impact will go through first place, and Eanix will go through second place. These matches today, I mean, hell, we Holy Nation, I don't think even signed up. No Name didn't sign up. Team NACL didn't sign up. Like, no team signed up for this because they knew it was pretty much over. We did have a couple of teams sign up, though, that we've not really heard of, and they're going to have a hell of a tough time ahead of them here, Blue, in the matches they have. You can see, again, the points there. That's not accurate. Impact should have 550, and Eanix should have 425. But there's no chance, for any other team to pass them.
Yeah, Impact's lead is basically secure at this point. Or actually, no, Impact's lead is more than secure as it's over 100 points. And pretty much the same thing can be said for Eanix. Theirs is a little bit less secured as it's 425 versus 340 compared to them and Only Nation. So in theory, Only Nation could have still passed Eanix, but it's going to be a real long shot considering the fact that I'm pretty sure we already have Eanix this far into the bracket.
Okay, so while we're looking at standings, I'm hearing some things.
What are you
on the website? Impact Gaming have over 125 point lead over Eanix. But production is telling me these are the correct standings. So I think the website's having a little bit of a problem. So then that does create some sort of weight to this.
Okay.
Though I still don't see how that's possible because Impact has won 4 cups. So I don't know. Whatever.
Apparently there was an administrative decision from what I just heard that affects it.
There was a I guess Impact got disqualified in the 3rd cup, so they lost their points. Okay, so that would make more sense than where the points are now.
Oh,
okay. So that has been cleared.
Okay,
right. So it
gotcha.
wasn't just on the website, but that's correct. So technically now we do have a match that's going to matter if both these two teams get to the finals, because that would determine who gets first seed.
Yeah. But between them and Only Nation, obviously, there is no chance for a new team to burst their way into the top 2. So with that said, we can take a look at our bracket for today's matchups and see who is going to be fighting who. We've got both Eanix and Impact in contention for the top spot, basically meaning that whoever ends up winning this one will take, or whoever ends up placing higher, should one of them get upset here in the first 2 matches, is going to earn the top seed spot for North America, earning them a spot in the semifinals of the Pro Series land. Our first match today is going to be Impact going up against Death Squad, and finally we'll be having Iconic go up against Eanix. That's the number 11 team going up against the number 2 team, and the, I believe, completely unranked team in Death Squad going up against Impact, who is number 1 in the region.
Yep.
So we've got some tough matches to start off the day, unfortunately, for those new teams.
And to give you guys like some insight into potentially, I mean, we're assuming the finals are going to go this way, Impact versus Eanix. Pretty sure it's going to happen as well. They've met twice in the grand finals, 3 times in the grand finals. Impact won every time.
Well, all right. Pretty decisive.
So I'm assuming Impact probably will win this one as well, but only time will tell. And if Eanix wants to show up, this is a perfect time to do it, because again, if you get through as the first seed from the region with EU and NA respectively, you get straight through to the semifinals and you don't have to play out a quarterfinal match, which means you double your prize earnings as well. The game has started. We're gonna hop straight into this one, and we'll see how this breaks down here, as it looks like, okay, it looks like it's a mix of teams here for Death Squad. So they kind of just had a couple of teams come together. I mean, you have Only Nation there. Swagger, Mr. Mum, I recognize. I don't know which. I know Kitty Monster. I can't remember what team he plays for though for ACTV.
So basically, it's like a pug team.
It's a pug team, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so some players just trying stuff out, having some fun. A new team in the makings for next season coming up as well. So we could possibly look it up, but they're actually winning to start things off here, as they take about a 70-point lead over Impact at the beginning of the matchup here. Kind of go for a bit of a crazy start. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the initial cap. That is going to go over to Impact, and they can pretty quickly leverage this position into a lead going back into their favor.
Looks like Kitty Monster's having a little bit of a rough start there with, I think, some ping issues there, as you just saw him warp around. But it doesn't seem like the team seems to have really noticed too much, because you can see they have a lead over Impact Gaming. So maybe this puggy style is catching Impact off guard, not allowing them to play like a standard game that they're used to.
Other way, Impact's going to try to work their way back into this here, but Death Squad's been doing a great job of trying to hold the point themselves, and at very minimum, try to pick up some extra frags against them. See, not Namebot moving, gets the quick scope off against Aerial to take him down. The rest of the team's going to start pushing forward. It does seem, though, that Impact ends up coming out on top of the situation. At least no, again, it's going to get decapped away before they even actually fully recap it into their favor. So, bit of a neutral point right now here at the center, as Impact are constantly being held back, and Death Squad are doing a great job of pushing this ahead, actually.
Can they keep this pace up, though? That's my question, because we've seen Impact, you know, not necessarily struggle, but have a slower start in games, and they seem to like to be a team that just really just shows up when it matters. Ariel's going to be up in a 1v2, and can't be missing those shots. You cannot be missing those shots. He should not really be able to pull off that 1v2 situation, but he does in the end. And in the meantime, points going to be captured. Now, this is their opportunity to start to build up some steam here. Gentrix, one of the best players, actually, in Guns of Boom, will fall there, unfortunately, as in a 1-on-2. Venom as well will eventually fall, but he does get 2 players for his efforts.
Point A is under attack.
Look where Kitty Monster's going. We saw this actually in the European Cups. This is a really powerful position. Push up towards their spawn. If no one actually challenges you and goes in that direction right away, which Gentrix has, then you can do a lot of back damage, a lot of, you know, damage from behind while they're trying to capture the point on you.
Impact are slowly working their way back into this now, but it's still a bit of a process to try and climb back into the lead here. 520 to 677. They've certainly brought the divide down lower from where it was before, but again, midpoint is being decapped and retaken for the Death Squad here, so they're going to be able to take it, steal it away, and make this a whole lot more difficult for Impact now, because they're going to have to push back in from spawn with a full respawn, or a full refresh of all 4 players here.
Well, hey, I mean, if Death Squad win this game, and Eanix wins their match, then we still have. I mean, then the third place and the finals won't matter that much in the end, because that would mean Eanix does get first seed out of this one. They'd be more than happy to have that happen. They're probably rooting right now for Death Squad to continue this momentum up. But the problem is Impact have control. They're starting to get these eliminations as well. Here's Swagger trying to walk back in onto the point. He'll, I think, successfully get the decap here. Not going to capture though just yet, as Gentrix and Corrupt is able to take him down. But Kitty Monster going for the flank, and it works out well for him. Gets 1. Unable to take down Aerial, who's still there next to the point trying to get the capture.
A lot of eliminations still going into the favor of both teams right now. They're not necessarily a definitive winner, but it does look like Impact barely escape with something that they can maybe leverage into their control. But no, here comes the decap. It's interrupted by Corrupt, but Corrupt's also going to be taken down by the respawn wave coming out from Death Squad. They're going to try to push this forward. Again, still no decap on that A point just yet, so Impact are taking up points, but they complete it.
That's it.
Just to start taking it back into their favor, and yeah, that should nearly secure things for them here now. However, again, Impact stealing it away. They're going to be able to take it back into their favor. It's not over yet. Death Squad, however, only about 21 points from claiming the map themselves here. How have they not done it yet? Impact now have the lead. They're going to run the gauntlet straight up to 1,000.
Why are you not pushing already?
Kill in a second here, and there you go. Impact are going to take the first map, 1,001 to 979. Just barely squeaking the comeback in at the last second there, and it'll give them the lead 1-0 in the series. Hate to see it.
So, I mean, Kitty was lagging out, you know, having some problems with connection, so it's kind of like a 3v4-ish, but at the end, why not? We gotta go. They sat in spawn and didn't have a chance to get elimination to get themselves there.
Don't know, to be honest with you. It definitely seemed like the team had like a fear of commitment at the end of it, like for good reason, to be honest, as they were relatively split up, and I guess they just didn't want to give free kills and free points over to their opponents, but at the same time, also probably did not want to obviously end up losing the game through that method, so they tried to hold back. I imagine maybe waiting for the full respawn wave, but no one ever made a call. No one ever chose to try and push the team back into it, and as such, Impact, with the recap back into their favor, was able to take full control and send themselves up to that 1,000-point mark, giving them control of the first map and taking us over to our first TDM matchup of the North American side of the circuit today. We're going to be going to Old Factory here in just a moment, as soon as we have our players readied up to see if we'll get that 2-0 from Impact that I think a lot of people, including us, expected coming into this matchup, or if we can continue to see Death Squad surprise us and come up with a map of their own to take us to a third and final map of the series.
It just confuses me why they didn't go. I know they wanted to wait for him to respawn back in to make the push happen, but there was no time left. They had to go. They had to make the play. And they just sat back, and it cost them the map. I mean, it kind of sucks for them, because if they somehow win here on TDM, then they could have actually won this whole thing for Eanix.
Yeah, very much so. Could have managed to take them out, could have managed to upset the balance of this matchup and really throw them off, but is not going to happen. Impact managed to piece themselves back together towards the end of it. A great recovery from them. Really had to fight tooth and nail for everything in that matchup. So Death Squad doing a fantastic job of just putting up the fight overall here. And now, as such, we are going to have to see if Impact will continue to stay on that path and push themselves into the finals, where, of course, they still have their chance to maintain their current first seed position.
Yeah, not sure we're waiting on just yet. Trying to get into the next match or the next map actually between these two, because obviously a lot of these teams, we were actually kind of expecting maybe like Impact from the results that we had on the website. We were kind of expecting like Impact, yeah, just take the week off.
Yeah, but obviously with the point differentials being
yeah, I mean, because they had over 100-point leads, so they physically could not drop. Sorry, but they could have had like the week off. Their settings would not have changed, and they would have been fine. But hey, they want to play. They want to continue to grind. And again, that's why we're kind of wondering why we didn't see like Noble continue the grind. You know, continue to push, and kind of like take the foot off the gas coming into Gods of Boom in July, but you can continually go to these events. Maybe they're busy with other things, but either way, I think we're just waiting on like 1 or 2 people to ready up, and we should be hopping into this match. We still have Eanix up against Iconic next. Then we'll be heading into the 3rd, 4th place match, and then the finals. And keep in mind, next week we'll not be here. We are taking a week break, and then the week after, I don't know what we're actually starting the week after, because there's no like Pro Series event between Brazil and Gods of Boom. So I don't know what that is. Maybe there's like a mini tournament happening that's not been announced or something. Maybe something's coming up. Maybe there's going to be a teaser or something like that. Because how do we find the 14?
I don't know.
3-team.
I don't know if there is a 14.
There has to be.
Not theory.
Why would it be a 3-team tournament? And how would you do it?
Just do double elim, I guess.
Yeah, but who's the team that gets through? No, it's gotta be 14. That makes no sense, Blue. Come on, think about it. Why would it be 3 teams?
Could be 3 teams. There isn't a 4th.
More is always better.
There isn't a 4th team slot right now, as far as I know. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's, I don't know.
So unless they like throw it at us last second, then.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering. What are we doing then? Is it the summer season? But then what's the summer season building up to? Right?
Don't know, to be honest.
Exactly.
Well, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to take this specific matchup as we're getting back into it. Aimbot's going to be able to pick up the first frag, and actually Death Squad pick up the first 3-4. Complete team wipe, actually, against Impact to start off with only 1 trade coming from Impact.
I'm just wondering why Impact's being pushed to the brink like this against a Pug. I think it's maybe the style that's catching them off guard. Wait, Kitty?
What's up?
Did you see that?
No, what happened?
Kind of like baited a teammate because he was hiding in the corner. Then he missed the shots, I guess. And was that Gentrix just turned around and knifed him?
All right.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
That's a... Yeah. Sorry, I was completely cut off. I was like, okay, that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade there. I guess Kitty was a lot lower than I expected.
Venom's going to be able to snipe 1 player out with Thanatos. Death Squad will continue to rack up a few frags, but it does seem like Impact are starting to battle their way back into it here too. So they finally pick up a few consistent pickups of their own. Mr. Bomba will end up in a winning fight against Corrupt to take him down, but shortly gets traded by Aerial. Not an aimbot again, going to be looking for a pickup against Gentrix. His shot's going to miss. Oh, great rocket shot coming in there from Gentrix. Him and Aerial are going to be able to pick up 2 on their own, but 2 are also traded back, keeping the status quo as it is for Death Squad.
Yeah, I mean, Death Squad are working like better together than I think like a lot of European teams we've seen today. Funny enough, like the trades are performing well. They're not peaking in bad positions. If they do peak, they kind of like to peak together, which is exactly what they do, except maybe there, Kitty Monster got caught looking the wrong direction. Fetch gets the elimination nonetheless. And they're maintaining a lead against the best North American team. Pretty much the best team in the world right now.
So, Corrupt is also going to push himself forward. Mr. Mamba is going to take a lot of damage from that exchange, but ends up with a double elimination by moving in to pick up those 2 frags on the RPG. Great stuff from him, and it continues to push Death Squad further into an advantageous position against Impact, who can't really seem to get the ball going on either of these maps, as it's been falling behind quite a bit here. Now, obviously had a great comeback to end map number 1, but I think asking for it here in map number 2 would be a little bit too much considering the lead that Death Squad already has, but we'll see.
Clean the elimination there out of Venom. Kitty Monster looking for basically the 1v2. Does get the 1-for-1 exchange in the end. Does have the teammates there to back him up again. Yet, look at this. Almost 100-point difference here between these 2 players, or between these 2 teams. And I think Death Squad actually might be able to take this. I don't know if Impact can come back in TDM like we just saw them do on the last map on Paradise Island.
It's going to be very difficult, to be sure. But we do see a 2-for-1 trade. Starts to wean a few points back into their favor. It's not enough. They keep doing that. They're still going to end up ultimately losing the game. Corrupt will walk up, managing to take out Aimbot once again, though. That's another 20 points or so to the ticker here for Impact. Again, the impact is so little, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Death Squad themselves are also kind of tucked back inside of their spawn as well. So it's going to be even more difficult now for Impact to try and make any frags happen.
They're just mind gaming them. They're like, all right, we'll chill. We'll sit here for 2 minutes. We have a big enough lead against you. You're going to have to come to us. Venom, though, gets things opened up with the snipe. Does close the point difference. However, Swagger's going to open it right back up, down to about 40 points, and keeps getting shot back up. Every time I talk about it, Mr. Mom gets elimination. Swagger's going to come in through as well. Now 9 points left, and I think Death Squad are going to take us to a third map here, Blue.
It's looking like it. They only need one more frag in their favor in order to accomplish that. Aerial is going to be the last frag going into the favor of Death Squad, and as such, they will tie it up at 1-1, sending us to a third and final control point map in order to decide our winner.
So you've heard it here first. A way to beat the best team. I thought it was Naruto. When you're playing against the best team, what's that smile?
Sorry, I was kind of half yawning.
Oh. Well, you had to say that. When you're up against the best team in the world, what do you do to beat them? Pug it.
Apparently.
Because that's how you win, apparently.
Let's find a bunch of crazy individual players and throw them all together on a squad. And
like you and me?
Let's do it, dude. Not next week, apparently. The week after that.
Yeah. Do you think we could play our match and cast at the same time?
Well, we're working on a different show, but we'll have to see.
We'll play and then cast that show.
Yeah.
But we'll be playing in this tournament.
Maybe.
Actually, I wonder who's going to be casting that.
Might be able to do it.
Figure it out. I think Lethal's going to be here. He's going to be coming back, ladies and gentlemen. He's not disappeared. I know he misses you guys as well.
Just going to jump back and forth after every game. Just run.
Have two headsets on.
Just run.
And just make your casting so generic that it works for both games.
Just sprint between each headset every time.
That sounds like a lot of work. Do you not?
All right. How? Talking.
If you have both headphones, how are you sprinting between them? Sprint implies running.
You gotta move fast.
Okay.
You sprint in your head.
So you Sanic it.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
It's like curling the headphones.
Yeah, I get an exercise in too. You know, it's not really. There's not anything there. Don't try. There's literally nothing there. It's yeah.
I can like subtly give me a little flex in there too.
There's nothing there. See, it's just an arm. There's nothing here.
Yeah, the wacky waveable inflating arm flailing man.
Yeah, it's not even that.
How did that go again?
It's just bony arms. Let's get into it, folks. Third and final map. It's back over here to Square now, where we are going to see one final opportunity for both of these teams to try and make their impact known and send them over to the grand finals. I know I keep doing that. Impact's a word I use a lot in cast, so.
Oh, don't worry. I feel like this should be a mode that they should win on. Like when it comes to this highly objective-based kind of mode, they should be able to outmaneuver the other team. However, at the same rate, because the other team's pugging, they don't necessarily know how they're going to play.
So it's all coming down, I think, mainly for Death Squad to how well their communications are working out, and again, how well they're able to delay some of these individual fights if they end up in a bunch of 1vx situations, which is probably going to be relatively likely. But for the first time in 2 maps, we've actually got Impact off to a really strong start. It's normally been Death Squad, actually, that's got to cut ahead here with a good 100 or 200 point lead at the beginning of it. So Impact getting off to their own 1 to 200 point lead is certainly a good sign for the Impact fans out there.
Let's see if they can maintain this impact they're having.
Haha. Sorry, I keep doing it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gave you that one.
Was it because I looked at you that you noticed to do it, or did you actually know?
No, I know. I mean, it's getting pretty obvious at this point.
All right, but they have a massive lead, though. And I think Death Squad are really struggling to find a way, to find a foothold back. Because plus Kitty Monster's lagging out like crazy, so you just saw there, not even moving in spawn. So basically playing 3v4. So it reminds me of last week, actually, with Impact up against Eanix, where they were playing 3v4 in TDM and they won. And then they went on to play against 4v3 in the next map and they won as well.
A bit crazy there.
Yeah, 3v4 win.
Mr. Mom looks like he was lagging for a second ago there, too. So might be more than one player on the team being affected by that. Could be a lot of these players, actually, but without knowing that for sure, I don't want to make insinuations, so just continue on. Aimbot actually with a kind of okay juke. The problem is both players just end up taking each other out, so it really only serves to further the goals for Impact. Now the complete trip cap against Death Squad and are well on their way to the 1,200 point marker.
Death Squad's more like a death race.
Point C is under attack.
It's an interesting movie.
Well, as you can see, I mean, they are down by like 500-600 points. And this is honestly what we expected from the start. However, they definitely gave us a bigger fight than we were, thinking was going to happen on Paradise Island and on Old Factory there. But it seems like when we go over to Controls, where they start to really struggle here in Impact, still with the 2 cap in their hands and the eliminations favoring them as well. Not to mention over doubling the amount of points their opponents have. They should be closing this out in a few seconds, and they should be making their way through to another grand final. I think that's like their 5th in a row.
Yup. So Impact in just a second here will tick over to 1,200, and they will get it done, ladies and gentlemen.
Unbreakable.
Don't bring that back up. A definitive win, finally, that we see there from Impact as they will take control of the 3rd and final map of this series and solidify their position in the grand finals today.
All right, so they will be up against the winner of Iconic and Eanix. And I wonder if Iconic is a pug team as well.
Well, they're on the leaderboard.
They are on the leaderboard.
So they have
not a pug team.
I mean, they could be a pug team, but they just have played in previous weeks. We know that much.
They played it. Yeah,
they played at least
actually,
one time, I think.
No, they played more than once because you get 25 points for making the semifinals, and they've never made it to the semifinals. So they've actually played in Cup 1, Cup 3, Cup 4, Cup 7. So they missed out. Yeah, they missed out on a couple cups.
Got it.
But they have been getting points, but I don't know how they're going to do up against a team like Eanix.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason that they're the second best team in NA.
With Death Squad, we at least had like a few prevalent players pugging together, but this time it's a seemingly a little bit more like inexperienced team with regards to high-level play going up against one of the best in the region. So,
but hey, if you're going to get experience, this is the best way to do it.
Yep. So guys, that match is coming up in just a minute. Do stick with us, and we'll be right back with it.
Captured point A. Point A.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, there's no breathing that time.
That's what I was.
I know, you were like really happy about it. Well, welcome back, ladies and
And there it
gentlemen,
was.
to the... I gotta breathe in to like to talk. Welcome to back to the Guns of Boom Challenger Series. It's our spring series, and it's coming to a close today. We're covering the North American circuit. We just finished off the European circuit about an hour or two ago, where we had our leaders remain our leaders for the most part. Lazarus, along with Dust 2, closing out as the top 2 positions in the European side of things, meaning they have qualified for LAN, with Lazarus taking the top seed, earning them a spot in the semifinals and boosting them right through the quarterfinals. Now we're in North America, where we just saw Impact win in their first semifinals, so they're through into the grand finals at this point. Still waiting to see who they're going to play against, though, and that'll be between either Eanix or Iconic. It's a bit of a skewed matchup. Iconic currently holding second place position in the region, and unfortunately for... I did say Eanix, right? Yeah, Eanix holding second place position in the region.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for my time to talk.
It's getting late. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the briefer going here. The game's going to start in a second anyway, so you could talk. And Iconic is in 11th place compared to number 2 from Eanix. So we'll have to see how well these two teams face off against each other. Let's get into it, though. That was your time.
Oh, it's me. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
I was literally talking for like a minute.
Capture point A.
That was not that long.
All right. Well,
I had to intro the segment.
Iconic do have 25 points over the course of the 4 cups they played in, meaning that they've gotten to like quarters like once, I think. I know they haven't been through the semis, so yeah, just double checking that really quickly. So they've been playing like consistently, but they've just not been able to really exceed or perform well, as you can see now with the scoreline. 300 points in a few seconds to 32. Not a good start here for Iconic. But again, Eanix is the second best team in NA for a reason. And to be honest, we were expecting the Impact match to go this way as well against Death Squad, but Death Squad is more of a pug of like more top-tier teams like Only Nation in there.
Well, we've got Eanix with a definitive lead. Not looking like it's going to change anytime soon here either. Pretty one-sided affair to start things off. Since we talked about the scoreline last time, we've only really seen one more frag go up onto the board, total out 2, with Iconic being able to barely pick up kills, let alone even come close to capping this point. This is looking like it's going to remain a relatively one-sided affair for the guys on Eanix right now, as they have just pushed over the 500-point mark.
Dude, that is a sweet helmet.
It's a diver's helmet.
That is sweet.
Yeah. He's going swimming. There's a beach behind him. So
Doesn't it like scare you that we know more about space than the bottom of the ocean?
do we, though?
Yeah.
Like, what defines that?
We just generally know more about space and what's out there than what we know about the bottom of our own ocetions.
I find that hard to believe, personally.
You can
Like, it's plausible.
Unless it's changed.
I think I've heard that before, but, like, I feel like it's not true.
You know, just knowing, like, if you're over, like, I don't remember the trench that's called, but, like, the deepest part of the ocean. And
Mariana
you're up top,
Trench.
yeah, and you're just, like, on top of the water, just knowing, like, straight down for miles
Yeah.
what could be there. Ugh.
Well, we've been to the bottom of it.
This is freaking me out.
We know somewhat what's down there.
This is freaking me out. Like, I'm literally, like, starting to get goosebumps because I'm, like, really afraid of the ocean. And that,
Bunch of really scary-looking fish.
thanks. I didn't need to sleep tonight.
I didn't even describe it.
Doesn't matter. Like, the ocean's, like, my greatest fear, and knowing that if you're up on top of the ocean looking down, what's there? If you could just see, if the water was so clear, you could just see all the way down. Just imagine, like, how freaky that'd be.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, but meanwhile, in the game, Eanix has dominated, crushed their opposition.
It's like the water would crush you if you were that deep.
No hope at all. Trying to keep us on course here, on our correct heading, towards the shores of map 2. You get what I'm saying?
I like these,
like that?
these nautical terms.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Okay. That was about it. I think I ran out now. But a very one-sided affair. Unfortunately, kind of expected given the very skewed current standings between these two teams. So we'll have to see if there's any hope for them to come back. But
I mean, that's why we're not at least me, I'm not taking a serious cast because it's, 800 point difference, out of
Probably
1,000 points total.
probably the most one-sided match we've seen on this stream.
And we'll probably have that happen again to map 2. And I don't want to take anything away from Iconic. It's nice to see that they're still participating. even Weedy's like, we belong here.
We earned our spot.
I mean, yeah, they're here. They're still playing. A lot of other teams didn't show up today, so credit to them for that. Maybe getting some good experience as well going into in 2 weeks from now. Though weekly shows will be kicking off again. But there is a mismatch here in terms of skill. We're not going to deny it. We're not going to beat the bush around it. So Eanix, unless something happens, unless their phone or tablet just breaks, or their internet dies, or a meteor hits their house, they should be getting through. I didn't talk about the internet dying, funny enough, but they should be getting.
I was about to say
the finals.
You
No, No, don't do it, Dark Helmet. Just play.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, there's a third place match still, so.
We were just checking that in chat.
Yeah, should be hopping in.
Little administrative issue, but we were just
In 12.
checking in about what was going on with that. I don't think this countdown's accurate.
What? It says 8 minutes. I'm just guessing 6.
Yeah, that's how long the lobby stays out.
I know. I'm guessing would be starting. I was trying to count down to. You know what, Blue?
Sorry. Here to ruin your narrative. Time and time again. Just like I ruined your dreams of sailing the ocean, apparently.
Ugh, I would rather be in space
So-
than the ocean.
Don't ever invite him onto a cruise, apparently.
I've been on cruises. Cruises are nice.
You live in the middle of the ocean.
That ship is not going down.
You never seen the movie?
Titanic.
No, there's another movie that's like a scary movie about a ship that gets hit by a rogue wave.
Ghost ship.
No, it's called like Atlantis or something like that. I don't know why it's called that, but it's like the ship is called the Atlantis.
There's lifeboats.
No, it's like everything goes wrong. Like basically, so here's the thing: when you get hit by a wave and you're in a big ship like that, you want to hit it head on. So like waves coming at you this way, waves coming at you.
You don't want to hit
like
each side.
waves coming at you like this, you want to go right through it. If you go like this, the ship just tips over and everyone's screwed, basically. And that's like what that whole movie's about. And it's like actually really nerve-wracking. So there's one.
It's a movie about flying, Blue. You know, long trips, your long hauls you have to do. There was actually recently a plane that just crashed into a river. You didn't see that? I just saw your face go from like laughter playful to oh god.
I mean, planes are safer than cars, so
So were cruise ships.
not really worried.
So are cruise ships.
True. All right, let's get into it.
Except the all-you-can-eat buffet. I think that's more harmful than cars. People just eat themselves to death. Actually, there's ice cream machines on them, like soft serve. Oh, I stacked a cone up this high once. Not even kidding. You gotta look at me, Blue. That high. Not even kidding.
Gonna come to Vegas sometime.
You know what? Let's do it. Guns of Boom event. Guns of Boom Pro Series Vegas. Let's make it happen.
We've got the best buffets in Vegas.
I'm coming. We're gonna have a great time.
Going to the Bacchanal.
I will bet my entire salary from that event on
Black?
No, on red. On red.
Ooh. Don't bet on red.
And if I'm right, you get half of it.
All right.
I don't get paid for
Enough
it,
for that.
so you get nothing. Anyways, into this match, we too currently have a big lead here. Not as big as what we just saw before out of Eanix, but again, this game mode's a lot harder to have like a massive lead. But J-Master is put on a clinic here, taking lead to 100 points, a minute and 15 in.
It started off a little bit more even, but it has started to shift relatively quickly into another one-sided Eanix affair here. They basically got Iconic spawn locked right now. One member of Eanix ended up going down a second ago because they ended up pushing a little bit too much. Optimus may have flagged out. Battery was just standing still.
I think they're just watching the doorway.
Yeah, it's just weird how he wasn't moving at all. But anyway, Iconic's going to bounce back a tad amount here, but still down by 100 points. Pretty definitive lead for Eanix. It just seems like Eanix kind of ran out of HP and they got pushed back because of that. So as they respawn here, I would personally expect them to retake the same control they had before. Nice little shot from Jen.
I just want to just see them all rush spawn. Just hold it.
I mean, that's what they did at the beginning, basically.
J-Master. What? He's not even being hit. Okay, finally.
Oh, he is.
He got a streak, though. And I think his name was supposed to be Wheaties, like the cereal.
Yeah.
God, you know, that's one thing I hate about Europe, the cereals.
It's really underwhelming.
So much better in North America. I mean, there's...
Like, to be fair, it's probably a lot healthier here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But, you know...
Who needs
give me
that?
some CTC. I'll be happy, you know?
I thought you have that here, don't you? It's just not the same.
Cine Swirls or Mini Swirl. It's Mini Cine or something. It's the
Mini Cineas, that's it.
It's terrible.
But Eanix once again come out on top as we expect here, crushing Iconic, although they do make their best effort of it. Got that one little push out of the spawn that bounced them back for another, another 100 points or so, but just not enough ultimately at the end of the day. Eanix comes out on top as we would expect for this type of a matchup.
100%, 100%. So that means we're going to our third, fourth place match. Will be Death Squad up against Iconic. And I think that will be kind of similar to what we just had. Because, again, Death Squad are composed of quite a few like high-level players. Having 2 players from Nation. I don't know where the other 2 players are from. I know Kitty Monster. I know the name. I just can't remember what team they play for originally.
We'll have to see if we can find that out and see if this is going to be a roster that we'll see making more appearances when we start the weekly cups again, or if it's just something that they're using for this week. But either way, again, you can see the weapons being used here. Iconic actually bringing all snipers to the table. Eanix did not care at all for them, except for Optimus. 3 out of 4 players picking scouts that time around. Whereas normally we see snipers be a tad more prevalent, at least spread more evenly amongst both teams. Didn't really get that there. So,
by the way, Venom wanted us to point out he got 3 kills in his, I think it was the last map of his last game. Just want to point that out. Just to really, I mean, he's telling me, how dare y'all not show my 3-kill game stat at the end. That's the most kills I've ever gotten in a game, period, and I get carried by my team. I'm just reading his message here in chat.
I give him his respect.
Yeah, I hope you heard that. Anyways, Blue.
Yeah,
what's going on now?
Close out our second match of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The third place match is coming up right after this, so do stick around, and we're going to be coming back to you with that. It's the Guns of Boom Challenger Series. We're back at you with the third place match. And welcome back. We really need a song in. Welcome back. Because now I'm noticing it because you keep bringing it up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guns of Boom Challenger Series. It is the closing day of the Spring Series, and we're here covering the North American action. We've just finished off our semifinals with our expected teams moving through into the finals. They will fight after this game for the honor of first and second place in the division, and of course the seeding advantages that will come with that. But for right now, we've got the third place match, and that is going to be between Iconic and Death Squad.
It's quite an intimidating name.
Yeah, Death Squad. Iconic's a pretty intimidating name, too. They're iconic, you know? Legends. They're definitive.
I just think of Pac-Man when I hear.
Iconic?
What?
What?
I think of Mad Max when I hear Death Squad.
What do you think of Pac-Man when you hear iconic?
I don't know.
Well, either way, the game's getting started, so
What do you think of when you hear Iconic?
I think iconic.
Yeah, well, it's because
I
you
think the word iconic.
Do you also like pumpkin spice lattes and wear Ugg boots?
No.
No.
I don't drink coffee.
The enemy captured point
Yeah, but
A.
okay. Well, there's other things at Starbucks.
Not
The enemy
non-coffee.
captured
Yeah, there
point
is.
B.
There's like tea.
The enemy captured point C.
Appreciate that, kitty.
I wish I was waiting for them to like just burn down. All right. Well, Death Squad. I mean, again, we have a couple players. Only Nation. You see Mr. Moment, Swagger there. Sick. I guess Sick. I guess not aimbot player and Gen play on the same team, but I don't know what the name is just from the tag Sick. And then you have ACTV for Kitty Monster. I can't remember what team he plays for, but I've definitely cast him in the past. But either way, we do have a massive lead built up yet again. 400 points to 100, so about a 300-point difference between the two. But this is a best of 5, no longer best of 3s, so.
Yep, and as you can tell, the map rotation
Simplicity,
Point B.
changed with it too. What's up?
So Kitty Monster's from Simplicity.
Oh, okay,
Point
cool.
C is under
explains
attack.
I just don't understand the tag. ACTV. Active?
Yeah, don't really know on that one either.
Air-conditioned TV?
Point C.
Clearly a North American team.
Yeah, if there's air-conditioning in his name.
Don't have any of that in Europe.
No, it's true. And right now, we're not really having many points here for Iconic, as they have control of A, but you see Swagger pushing on to this one. And he should be turned it back in a few seconds here as well on top of things. And I think we're just going to have another one-sided match here, unfortunately, Blue.
Yeah, 800 to 256 with Death Squad about to have a triple cap actually here in a second. I think it's stopped Dark Helmet, but actually looks like he's going to get the beat cap off at a minimum. Got a few players behind him too that's also going to run into Mom in a second. Although Mom is able to go 2 for 1 at minimum before getting taken out a second later. So we're going to see, though, a lot of players going to move in to reassert control over both C and A, along with probably trying to go for a recap on B in a sec. B's actually neutral. It's been neutral for like a good 5 to 10 seconds. But we finally do see members of Death Squad jumping onto it just as they cross the 1,000-point mark.
B is Switzerland right now.
Point A captured.
Just neutral here.
No man's land.
We're going to have A picked up here for Iconic, but again, I mean, they could have a triple cap, and Death Squad can still just win off of these eliminations nonetheless.
Yeah, with 700 or 800 point lead now. There is no risk for Death Squad to drop it. So they take a very one-sided match in their favor. Certainly a good start for this series, and now it's time for them to build upon that, which, judging from the first match, they shouldn't have too much trouble doing if the results remain consistent.
I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I mean,
How
it's...
the pancake flips. How the cake rises.
Would it be a souffle?
Cakes rise.
I guess, yeah.
Jeez, you have to be all fancy.
Well, souffles like are the thing that's like known like to rise, you know.
You don't want to make it crumble on itself.
You gotta talk really quiet.
That's how the
That's why I gotta be always the talk straight.
the cupcake gets frosted. I just make myself hungry now.
The toast gets buttered.
Ooh, I like that one.
one?
Yeah. I'll butter your toast. What?
I don't know.
What's another one? Give me one more.
Trying to think what else.
How you stir the pot.
Yeah, the candle is lit. I'm just reaching a bit at this point. The lights
Yeah.
are on.
The table's been set.
These are getting worse.
The table's been set.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Placemat has
see.
been placed.
The garbage has been taken out. That was a bit brutal, actually.
The apartment's been cleaned. The lawn has been mowed. I don't know where we're going with it.
The laundry's in the dryer.
I wish I had a dryer. If you're in Europe, son, they don't have dryers that often.
It's a North American Cup, though, so we can pretend.
Yeah, we are live in Burbank, California. Katowice, Poland.
The Katowice sect of Burbank, California.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little.
It's a little wormhole inside of the ESL.
You know, they have like
Burbank.
Chinatown, Japantown. They have Polish town. It's called P-Town. I don't know. I could have said a completely worse one that starts with a P. Anyways, we're into our next one here. Our second map in this best of 5 series. And we'll see if Death Squad can keep this up. It's better than that one, Blue. That's what I was going to say on accident.
It's a good thing you didn't say that. But we've actually got Iconic keeping up at the beginning of this round, which again, like, is kind of to be expected here just due to the very trade-heavy nature this game plays into. So Death Squad are going to start to push ahead a little bit here now. They're relatively spread up, and you can see Iconic is very fearful of actually trying to push out into the open. That's going to be a problem, though, as you can see. Kitty Monster and the rest of Death Squad are not going to be fearful at all. They're going to try to push directly into them. But, I mean, Iconic, they're holding up right now. They're doing a good job picking up trades. They're actually going to end up with the lead by playing slow here.
I will say this, though. That's because they just, like, fed over elimination streak to Dark Helmet.
Yeah.
And he just got, like, 4 limbs and the streak off of that, so he just got a ton of points. Kind of being gifted over to him. I think Death Squad realized they pretty much have this one sold, pretty much, you know, solidified. You know, the dinner has been served. So they're having a little bit of fun with it here.
The soup is on.
You know, Poland does have great soup. Have you tried the Zurich?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's a white sausage soup. It's like a sour soup, sour rice soup.
I might have actually tried
eggs,
that.
Potatoes.
I might have tried it, but like not know what it
Really
called
good.
that.
Really, like my favorite soup. Hands.
Some guy gave me a soup in a restaurant that I like didn't ask for. He was like compliments to the chefs.
Oh, I was like some random dude
No,
gave
no,
you soup
no.
at a restaurant.
No.
You ate it.
No, absolutely not. But yeah.
Compliments of the chef. Huh?
Yeah, it was, I think I was like the only person that ate there that night because it was in the hotel. So.
Okay, yeah. They sometimes bring in beef bread.
Not the hotel we're in. Different.
Oh.
But it was here. Either way, Iconic, like I said before, doing a good job of keeping up here. Much better than they have done in previous rounds. You do have to commend them for that.
Yeah, I'll keep more on track now since you actually have a closer match here. I was expecting to be a blowout.
Death Squad at the same time are doing a good job of making sure that they keep pace and at least keep a minimalist lead over what Iconic have brought to the table here. Out of the aimbot's going to end up actually pushing into the lion's den, and this is the problem I think that Death Squad need to adjust into, is that Iconic do actually have a pretty good idea of how to play this map. It's just that Death Squad, I think, got a little bit overzealous in the early round and kind of has been giving away a lot of kills as a result of that, so they have to try and kind of peel back a little bit here.
Yeah, they're just running into him and not really caring too much. And as you see, it's costing them the lead as they are behind by 13 points now. See Dark Helmet trying to nade him out, gets caught out. Now we see the side of Death Squad with the lead. And I think they're going to continue to push into their spawn. All right, so they're just going to keep at this.
Give it a shot. Kitty Monsters.
I like to playing Gladiator. Do you know what Gladiator is?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm referring to?
I think so.
Where like everyone sits to spawn and one person goes out and tries to pull off an ace.
Oh, okay.
Not like American Gladiator now.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I would have loved to have been on that show.
Couldn't have done that. It's all about Titan games now, isn't it?
Kinda.
Our man Golden Boy hosting that.
Our man Golden Boy.
Yeah, doesn't line up too well, does it? Unfortunate. But Death Squad, in the meanwhile, are lining up another victory for themselves as long as they can keep this lead under control. 50 points away, but Iconic not too far behind them. They're only 80 points back from the 500-point marker, so both teams have actually gone relatively passive now. Death Squad's choices, I believe, if it aligns with what we've seen before, choices to actually stay away from snipers might have come back to bite them, but oh my goodness, this is neck and neck now after Ardot manages to get that double elimination and Blade Master combo. He's pushed his team up to 498 versus 496. It's literally the next points at all will win for that team.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be that person that goes down here. You see Dark come immediately running away, looking for these snipe shots, trying to beat them at the aim battle. You see the entirety of Iconic go back into their own spawn. And they can just watch one doorway only. Oh my gosh! All right, so this music's a lot happier
Hot ended.
than I am.
I like that song.
Okay, you know? I mean,
What do you have to say?
I could say quite a few things. Probably none of it I can say on air right now. I feel like Iconic didn't deserve that. However, they did take the little bit of BM coming their way out of Death Squad and use it to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean,
Sat in spawn, watch the same angles, and then whenever they came to the doorway, it was like, hey, free limbs.
yeah, pretty much Death Squad kept playing into this like really overzealous playstyle where they would just push, with only one or two players Didn't really manage to, unfortunately, like have much of a strategy when they were pushing, and as a result of that, ended up going down quite a bit more often than they should have. And as such, Iconic was able to keep up in the early game, kept their point totals relatively close. You can see here again the option for quite a few members to stay away from any type of actual rifle and just go with the Scout, which is mainly used for movement utility as well. Might have affected Death Squad if they'd chosen to shift away from those for that reason, thinking that they would have been able to just kind of run around the map and hold full control of it, when that wasn't the case at all. Iconic did a great job of holding back, playing passively, and leveraging advantages when the opportunities were thrown their way by Death Squad.
It's getting warm in here. Is that just me?
Competition is heating up.
Exactly.
The arena is filling with willing spectators.
The crowd is
Can't keep this one
chanting.
going.
The vendors are selling
What are they selling?
food.
What kind of food?
Nachos.
Hecker Knockos.
Fajitas. What else? Quesadillas. Burritos. And, of course, hot dogs.
Yeah. Some sausages. Are they Polish hot dogs, or are they like?
No, they're in the Wild Wild West, son. They don't,
Okay.
they don't have Polish hot dogs in the Wild West. Actually, they might. It's a theme park, so maybe they do.
Because in Poland they put hot dogs in like this little like
Right? It's like a pocket.
the tube thing. Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's just you can't get
No,
the
it's just-
coating of the sauce that you want.
Well, the problem is as well for me is I don't like put anything on a hot dog when I have a hot dog, so it's like it doesn't really work.
That's perfect then.
What?
Because you don't have to put any sauce on it. It just
Yeah, but then it doesn't go into the
like a meat
tube.
pocket. Yeah, but you can go. Does it need sauce to go in the tube?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you like your hot dogs? Well, I had one today with mustard. It was great. I enjoyed it. 226 to 67 points. So it seems when you get to these objective-based maps is when Death Squad really starts to realize, yeah, we probably just threw away that last map. Let's just close it out.
Well, let's see here if Death Squad is going to be able to do that or not. Jen, in the meanwhile, larking back around here, trying to take out not an aimbot, but it's not going to work out. Aimbot ends up holding his own. Now he's going to set his sights probably on Dark Helmet. Okay, never mind. Mamba's just going to absolutely destroy him.
Or like no helmet. Hey.
We'll see them go down. Wheaties will probably end up being the next victim here, as they're kind of running into the grinder at the moment here. They got to be very careful. It looks like they are able to open the jaws of it a little bit further here, but Swagger's going to try his best to delay this. Unfortunately, cannot stop the cap from happening. I think he went down mid-flip. I could have been wrong there. But either way, he's going to get taken out. And Mamba.
That grunt that he made when he died, he was like, it's like the sound you make when you stub your toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like stub your finger in a door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's like it doesn't really hurt that much. It's just like a singe of pain.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Death Squad back in control, at least for the time being. Iconic, like we said before, doing a good job of keeping up, at least keeping the fight, keeping Death Squad on their toes throughout this matchup, not really letting them get a moment of relaxation at any point here. That's giving them some small opportunities to work their way back into the map. Unfortunately, just hasn't really proved itself to be enough, as when Death Squad is in control, it's relatively definitive.
I mean, they need 300 points to close us out, and Iconic only have 300 points, so... Okay, gives you an idea how this one's breaking down here. Most likely to be going Death Squad's way, as we're going to be moving over to Skyscraper as our fourth map, potentially final one of our third or fourth place game. You see Mr. Mamba now just charging spawn, not happy with the elimin score he already does have. But he will fall. And again, that cockiness is working out against them.
See Death Squad, though, back in control, at least momentarily. His aimbot's probably going to get surrounded here in a second. Comes very close to knocking out Jen as well, but is not able to accomplish that. So Mamba's going to get the job done. Instead, he'll move in to try to get the double elim. No, will not happen. It's going to rely on Swagger to wrap back around, finish things off with their team, and again, get this recap rolling, as they're just about 100 points away from closing out map number 3 now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to close this one off. That should be 100% in their favor, even if they just got off eliminations alone. Ardot might be the final nail in the coffin, as he does fall, and the points do tick over. By the way, I did learn the last thing they do sell is cheese-filled jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
And also, if you're really crazy, you can get a jalapenos instead.
What about a habanero? You got any of those?
Did you hear yourself? Basically said it the way it's supposed to be said.
I couldn't think of a way to like
What about a
mispronounce.
habanero?
I said,
Ah, crap.
I didn't say.
Oh, I ruined it.
I said aro, well, at least.
Habanero.
Yeah. How else would you have like messed that up though?
I would have went with habanero. I would have went with a different word.
What word?
I don't know. I gave you like 5.
That was like the only other pepper I could think of.
You couldn't even give me 1. I gave you like 5.
What about a chile?
No.
So you had to think about that one, though. You had to think about what I said.
Chile. It's a country.
No, chili.
Yeah,
That's a pepper.
Yes, I know. I'm not stupid. But there's no E in it.
Well, I mean, it's not like your pronunciations made much sense.
But yeah, but at least I'm sticking to the right letters. Like
You picked all the easy ones.
vagina. It still can be spelled the way fajita's spelled.
Yeah, that's true.
And what was the other one I used? Nachos.
I suppose.
And what was the other one?
That one threw me off.
Jalapenos. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm sorry. We had that interesting. I actually don't know what's called that like really high-powered shotgun get used that time too by the guys on Death Squad as they want.
They've been having some fun with their weapons.
Yeah.
Not sticking true to the meta.
They've been changing it up a little bit as well. But we did see that shotgun actually used quite well. It just seems like it's one that has like a really severe fall-off, so you've got to be like right in someone's face to do damage to them. But when you are in their face, we saw it multiple times, you just get wrecked by that thing.
I can't think of another one.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously can't think of any, so I'm just not even going to try anymore.
I know,
I'm going to focus on the game.
You're not very witty.
We're back to the heights of the skyscraper for what could be our final map of the series.
I'd rather fight someone like on the outside, like especially on the edges. So like if I'm ever going down, I'm just gonna grab them and take them with me.
Okay.
You know?
I don't know if that fits into the game lore very well. I don't think you can grab people in this game.
Just imagine if you could. If you can grab someone and use them as like a shield,
Yeah.
and your teammates can shoot them.
Unfortunately, it's not Smash Brothers, so a little bit difficult to do that. Yeah, it's the first game I thought of that had grabs, so.
Blue. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You flew here from the U.S. today,
Yeah.
so I'll give you the benefit.
Technically yesterday.
118 though to 39. And again, we're not seeing Death Squad this time just rush into the enemy spawn, at least not at the moment, as they completely overwhelm them here, trading out 3 for 2. So to go in their favor yet again as they maintain a 100-point lead and looking to close out this series in this map and not go over to Atrium. But we still have our final game, not our penultimate game, with Impact versus Eanix still waiting to go here. And the winner of that will determine who comes out as first seed and skips straight to the semifinals at the Pro Series Brazilvet, who will have to play throughout the quarterfinals.
Good build up here so far by Death Squad. And again, like you were saying before, they're not necessarily taking fights they shouldn't be taking. They're being a lot smarter with their angles. They think they're in a losing situation, or they are going to enter into a situation they might lose. They're kind of backing up, playing things a lot more passively. And that's handing over a lot less kind of free death to the Iconic Squad. Oh. Short little dance session there from Mom. We appreciate it either way.
Okay, you have to do that dance.
You think I can do that?
Oh my gosh, Kitty.
It took a minute.
I sniped him like 3 times. Once isn't enough.
I think he missed a few times. By the way, we've got Death Squad well into the lead now.
Oh.
Iconic, unfortunately, kind of spawn locked to a certain extent. They are trying to consistently force their pressure inside of the central building. And Ardot just kind of successfully took it. The problem is there's a lot of players on the outside of it. Nice nade, nearly manages to take out Aimbot, but he barely survives. He's got his health kit to heal back up.
I see Kitty here coming to support him as well. Aimbot does take down another player. It's going to be Jen. Probably should rename to Jen for the lose, unfortunately, in that 1v1. I feel like I'm just being mean now.
I know, that was pretty brutal.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, Death Squad are going to be able to push forward.
21 points is all they need for like a couple of eliminations, and they'll be able to close this one off. You can see how far behind Iconic are, though. And you can see the difference in the maps as well with Military Warehouse compared here to Skyscraper and how differently it plays, especially when you don't rush their spawn the entire time. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Death Squad take our 3rd place match. Take home some money.
And the points that come with it.
Song?
Yeah. Not that the points will matter at this point.
Sick Rift? Sorry. Anyways, yeah, so they take home the victory, but that does lead us into a little fun match before our big match of the night. We didn't think it was actually going to turn out this way because we thought there was a bigger difference between the 2 teams, but turns out that was a miscalculation on the website. But both these teams tied in points at 450 each, and now it determines who's going through first seed. That's a very important match because not only do you get to play one match less, you also double your earnings.
Yep, very much the case. So a lot on the line, or at least would see deceivingly a lot on the line actually in the next matchup here. As you would think, it's just a bit of a pointless match for seeding purposes, but the seeding has a lot to do with the upcoming Pro Series land. So both of these teams want to win it, meaning there's going to be a lot on the line. We should expect some good competition between Impact and Eanix. However,
I hope so.
The record does heavily favor Impact, I believe, correct?
Exactly. They've won the last 5 times. Last 5 cups. And out of the 3 times they've met, they've won each time. at least in the Cups. And actually, no, sorry, 4 times. They met them 3 times in the finals and beat them 3 times in the finals. No, sorry. They met 4 times in the finals and beat them 4 times in the finals.
So 4 for 4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, quite a definitive record into the favor of Impact. We're going to see right after this, ladies and gentlemen, if Eanix can break that streak and steal the first seed position away from Impact, or if it's going to remain the same strategy as always, and we'll see Impact taking first seed at the Pro Series LAN. Find out right after this. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match of the day here for the Guns of Boom Challenger Series. It's actually the final match of the spring matches in general here, as we're going to be closing out North America with this matchup and seeing which of our two teams that have already qualified at this point. There's no risk for either of them losing the qualification spot, but what they are fighting for at this point is going to be for seeding, which has a lot of pull on the upcoming Pro Series land. Whoever takes first place out of this match is going to go straight to the semifinals and double their initial prize winnings. Second place, unfortunately, will have to start right from the beginning of the bracket in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and let's play either against North America. Actually, I think they play against either Latin American or the Southeast Asian team, assuming all the visas do get sorted and worked out. So, I mean, we didn't really get to see much of Brazil. We didn't get to see any of Southeast Asia in the last Pro Series. We were in Texas. Hopefully those guys show up a little bit better here, because Bazookas, when they did were actually playing, they're kind of like a mixed bag of team. They had 3 players who weren't even on the original roster that actually got them qualified, if I remember correctly. So we'll see. I think it's a big game, and not to mention it's a big game for Eanix too, considering they've lost the last 4 times that they've played them in the finals. This is their chance to pull off an upset here in the last and final chance.
All right, let's get into it, folks. Impact or Eanix? Impact holding a 4-for-4 record when these two teams have met in the past. We'll see if Eanix can now break that streak or if it's going to remain consistent for Impact, solidifying that first seed position going into the Pro Series land.
I kind of want to see Eanix,
Under attack.
just win for that sake, but at the same time, I want to see some stability. You know, we talked about North America as being a region where you have these two teams, Eanix and Impact, who are just always at the top. And we've had now Impact winning the last Pro Series event in Texas. I'd like to see them be able to perform just that well again, and maybe even win in Brazil. It'd be kind of nice to see if there's any team that can challenge them, because they've really shown that they're a fantastic team. They so far have a big lead here, about 62 points. I know it's not like the 800 we had when they played just before against Death Squad, I think it was. But it is a big lead considering they're up against the #2 team in North America.
Well, of course, we're going to see, of course, how they can build upon this over the next few moments. They've already got a solid 2-cap running. You can see they're focusing most of their efforts on kind of running between A and B, making sure they hold that. C's already taken care of. And actually, in just a moment here, as long as J-Master isn't really able to interrupt anything, yeah, there we go. Triple cap is going to be maintained. Impact, just off of these few seconds they're going to have it, is they'll more than likely lose C here in a moment. Actually, trying to defend it and doing a pretty good job of it. They're going to really rack up a whole lot of points, and obviously this is a complete stoppage of point gains for Eanix as a whole now. They're not getting anything off of this.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Eanix, when they met them last week, they had a little bit of a rough time, because they did play 4v3 against them on Military Warehouse, because we had a dropout. I think it was like Venom, if I'm not mistaken, and Impact still won 3v4. And then they went to the Wild West, and that's when they had a player drop out, unfortunately, and they lost 3v4. So definitely having a rough time in last week's. It's a chance for redemption here, but as you saw, the trip kept coming through with basically almost a 500-point lead for Impact. It's looking like to see, it's seeming to be like the song on repeat another time.
Well, Impact again with solid control going into their favor. It's not looking like Eanix are going to be able to fight back against this anytime soon. The trip cap is actually going to be reestablished potentially in a moment here if they can interrupt the CD cap. They won't be able to do that. So Javier is going to attempt to steal this away, and he won't be successful more than likely in doing so. But A and B are still very much in their favor, and that's all they need at this point. The trip cap is already, well and done. They could go for it again if they want to, but it's really going to be overkill at this point, seeing as they're over double the points that Eanix have and less than 100 points away from winning the map now.
Yeah. They should be going Impact's way here in just a few seconds. They only need so many points left to finish this off. And they don't even need the points anymore, as long as they just keep getting eliminations, which they're doing. Gentrix racks up another 2, and 1 or 2 more should finish this off. And there we go. Impact will take basically a 600-point lead on our first map here in our finals of the last cup of the spring season for the Challenger Series of Guns of Boom Season 2.
Bit of a mouthful there, yeah?
Yeah, I was trying.
Yeah.
I was trying.
Very nice, very smooth.
They can't shove food in my mouth right now. I might as well just shove words. It's my diet,
Yeah, I get you. Well, either way,
gotta get these Guns of Boom here on my arms going.
I see. I don't have any, so I can't really talk smack.
It's fine. After this, we'll go hit the gym.
No, I'm going to sleep after this.
Come on, you can sleep and gym at the same time.
No, I can't. No, 100%.
Going sleep on the treadmill as it just.
I'm going to go right to my bed, and then I'm out.
What, you're gonna clap?
That was me like falling into bed, is what that was.
How hard is your bed that you just make that sound? Do you just knock yourself out by hitting like the headboard?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, to each their own. I don't know. I sleep weirdly.
It's like the It's Always Sunny method of falling asleep. You ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the method.
Okay, never mind. It's not worth it.
You cuddle up with Danny DeVito in bed?
It's part of it, yeah.
I mean, some of the pillows.
If you don't already know what I'm talking about, it's going to take way too long to explain.
Some of the pillows, though, at the hotel are probably as tall as Dare DeVito are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, moving into our second map. I don't know why I just like gave it the eyebrow raise there. It's going to be Military Warehouse, so it's some TDM here between these two teams. And we'll be kicking off in just a few seconds because I can see that we are loading into this one. And my question to you is, Blue, are you willing to make a bet?
No, absolutely not.
Never mind. No question for you anymore, Blue. So we're heading into the game. We'll skip right past it and see if the second map will go the same way of map number 1.
Played blackjack the other day. I did enough betting.
Did you win?
Yeah, actually. Not much.
How much?
Like $50.
Hey. That's like a... Not bad.
I mean, I started with 200, so... It was all right. But either way, Eanix...
Go alone?
No. It was with some people.
You have other friends besides me?
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
What the heck? I live like literally on the other side of the planet from you, and I'm not allowed to have friends?
No.
It's a bit mean, isn't it?
No.
Well, sorry.
Well, you know what? Who also doesn't have friends right now? Eanix, because they want to take this one. Impact are no longer their friends. They are their frenemies.
Friendship ended with Impact. I don't know who their new best friend is.
Death Squad.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they almost took him out, so I guess in this instance they would be. But Eanix actually have a pretty consistent lead being held up at this point. Good map control overall. You can see Impact are kind of looped pretty close to their spawn right now. If Eanix continue to push this, but they've got to be careful because the effects of the trades are going to come up right about now as you're seeing all these kills come out for Impact. But ultimately, Eanix is still trading on their own regard. Like, this is still a pretty good situation for Eanix, despite the fact that Impact have kind of closed the gap now.
I think Impact typically have like these slower starts in most games, and they start to really ramp it up once they figure out how the other team's playing. I feel like they need to kind of play their own style and not have to adapt to the way the enemy team's playing to really do exceptionally well like we've seen in the past. But they do have the lead, albeit 1 point, as they do unfortunately fall behind with J-Master's quick double, but not going to count them out just yet. At the moment, Ariel's at 75 points, leading his team. Gentrix at 69. On the other side, Optimus at 83. So we have our stand-up players for both sides. You can still see the score isn't going to be that much different. Oh, I like that, the double snipe shot.
Ooh, the lineup.
Actually, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I legitimately have been thinking about like double snipes. Why is it not used more often? Because if you hit the same target, it's like a free limb.
Pretty much, yeah. I just feel like, I guess the drawback time on it, if there is like a second or third player sitting there, would make kind of like leave you sitting in the open.
Yeah, but I mean, if you play yourself in a position where you can hide after your shot, then it's like, all right, there's literally no downside to that.
I guess the other problem to it would basically just be like, do you really want to commit half your team to that like one single position, basically? That's the only downside.
Like, how can you watch half the map with those two players watching one position hit the shots?
I feel like on Skyscraper we might see it be a little bit more useful since there's like that one little Overwatch position snipers like to sit in, but again, it's just going to take so much manpower off the field that I feel like it could also work out pretty negatively. Things have remained incredibly close, by the way. No real definitive leader showing up here over the last few moments. Impact, despite still being behind, as you can see, it's only by about 10 or 20 points here, so could still go into their way, but Eanix with J-Master's most recent pick up here are going to start to swing things a little bit further into their favor. They're now just a little under 80 points away from closing out the map and tying us at 1-1.
There's got to be careful. They can't really afford to trade out on too many more eliminations here since Eanix do have the lead, and if they keep trading 1 for 1, they're eventually going to close this one out and be able to tie things up at 1 apiece. And I see Impact playing a little bit slower, it seems. A little bit more careful. Eanix, though, grouped up. Easy pickings. Actually, the thing is, like, upside is you get elims really quickly. Downside is if you get all wiped out, you can quickly fall behind. And now you can see if they get this elimination cleanly, they're going to take it to an 8-point difference. You see Ariel's low on HP. Gentrix is missing a little bit of health here. You have to be careful who takes the damage and obviously making sure to output as much as you can here before you fall.
Eanix still has advantage by 8 points, as we talked about a second ago, so they can still sit back and play passively. Ultimately, it is going to have to be Impact that'll to make the move forward here. But obviously keeping a few of their players held back due to the low HP, but no. Now it's the other way around. Gentrix finding a pick against Thanos to take him out. Oh. The attempted trades are going to come in, but so far unsuccessfully. 494 to 483. Next frag or two for either team will decide it. Impact have that penultimate advantage, though, and only needing the 1 kill for Eanix. It might still end up being 2 that they need to find for themselves. Optimus sneaks in, picks up 1 frag, but he's very low. Ariel catches the trade, and Impact barely sneak by, complete the comeback, and claim the second map of the series.
It was really well done by Ariel, too, because he realized like his teammate just got eliminated from that position. So he rushes him down knowing he's on low HP, knowing he needs that 1 elim to close it out. I was actually surprised to see him. I think those Optimus pushed up so far and so aggressively considering the HP he had, but I feel like maybe he realized the time is now. They had to make something happen because time was running very thin. or short. I don't know if time can be thin. But didn't work out in the end, but they definitely pushed it to the brink, and it looked a lot better 4v4 than it did 4v3 for them last week.
Yeah, absolutely. So now for Impact, it's just a matter of one final map to close out on. Even better, it's going to be back to an objective-focused map. So if it's going to be anything like we just saw on map number 1, heavy favor, in my opinion, going over to Impact, even though it'll be King of the Hill this time, so more of a central point. But generally speaking, the teams that tend to dominate on capture point maps also dominate on King of the Hill-focused maps. So at the moment, it's a pretty heavy advantage, at least in my book, going over to the Impact squad.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Impact just typically dominate, period. It's not very often they lose. They haven't lost that many cups over the course of the entire season. I think about 2 total, maybe even that. They're just like easily the best team that we have in Guns of Boom.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about it. Like, we didn't get to see them play against a Southeast Asian team. We didn't get to see them play against like a core team. Actually, the thing is, like, thinking back to the event that just happened in Texas, only 2 teams there didn't have substitute. Impact was one, Eanix was the other. So every team they played up to the finals was a team that had subs. So I guess it's technically hard to say they're the best team, even though they did win. But I'd like to see them played against teams with like just full-on rosters with no.
I think when you look at them from like a status quo of in terms of long-term international play, like over a period of a few days instead of just like a single match like we've had at the Gods of Boom event, they kind of hold the cake in that respect right now. Now that's probably going to change and will be more definitively decided at the next Gods of Boom event. But
hopefully,
until we get to that point, I think it's safe to say that they currently hold the top position in the overall game. Obviously, Noble still has the most prestigious position as the current winner of the Gods of Boom, but we haven't seen them at Alliance since. And
I don't even want to call them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they haven't really performed well in online cups because they've kind of shrugged them off. So they've got the title, right? But it's like when like a boxing champ is like kind of like hiding after he wins a belt at that point. Like
The Jason Kaplan strategy of hiding.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm undefeated in my esports career because I played one match.
Yeah, like.
Yep.
They just kind of hide in the background after that until the title's about to expire, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. Obviously, they're going to have to come back at the next Gods of Boom event, and it's going to be a real teller of how well Noble will be able to hold up against some of these teams, like Impact, who are doing really well.
They have a lot to live up to as well, Noble.
Yeah.
The fact that they've kind of said that they're not really trying to qualify for these Pro Series events. If you show up to Gods of Boom and just tank it, then like, what the hell have you been doing?
Pretty much. Pretty much exactly.
If I was, you know... Yeah, never mind. If I was at Oregon, I'd be like, yeah, you guys are out. See ya. In the meantime, we're on the Wild West, and we do have a wild lead now for Impact. 100 points off the bat. They had some solid control of the point here on King of the Hill. They're eventually going to lose out on it as Eanix is able to sneak their way in like a snake in a boot onto the point. I don't know why they're sneaking like a snake in a boot.
It's more of a Toy Story thing.
A Toy Store?
Toy Story.
Wait, what?
It's a Woody quote.
Who's Woody?
From the movie?
What movie?
The beloved children's movie.
Pocahontas?
Toy Story.
There's a movie called Toy Story.
All right. Move back into the game now. So we've got Eanix with control.
That sounds like the type of movie like Tom Hanks would be in.
Well, wouldn't you know? You should go check it out on IMDb and then go watch it. But we've got Eanix in control. Impact at the moment trying to run the comeback. Eanix actually had a really good amount of control over towards the central point here for a while, so they were able to keep this relatively close. And it seems my prediction of this being a relatively one-sided game for Impact is not really held true, at least looking at the early game now. We're starting to enter the mid-game where Impact have, I think, started to make a few adjustments, and as such, they take the point, but it's not safe harbor just yet. Nicely done by Gentrix, though. Him and Venom actually working together. Venom getting all the credit for it. He gets the triple elimination and the elimination streak, boosting the Impact point totals way into the lead again past Eanix.
The amount of points they just got for that, I feel like Gentrix was just shooting his entire clip into the enemy team without missing a single shot there. Eventually they will be overrun as they do push very aggressively in towards the spawn, but they're coming back and able to contest, and that hit, I think, 3 or 2 different people. There was a fantastically well placed RPG coming through, and you can see the kill feed going all blue here for the side of Impact Gaming, and they should be able to get to, what, 750 before we see the next fight breakdown? Close to it.
Yeah, probably 700 is going to be a safer bet as we do have a few players pushing in now, but Goku's kind of on his own, so he's going to end up getting knocked out relatively quickly here. Javier, excuse me, kind of on his own. He does manage to get a double Elam before going down this, so still like pretty good results, and not only this, but you can see like quite a few other players from Impact actually got pinched out from behind the cart in the back there, so the point's going to be stolen away relatively quickly. Eanix is going to be able to take that. Impact got, actually, you were almost exactly on point there, right up to about 750 before we saw the cap go the other way, and Eanix stolen in their favor. Also picking up a few frags to start closing the gap a bit more, but they're still over 100 points behind.
You can call me the giant-nosed raven.
Okay. Probably going to pass on that, but keep it in mind for later.
All right, you know, just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Feel like it, just bring it up. 900 points here for Impact in a few seconds. They still have control of A. Corrupt is actually able to flank around behind Goku here. Now 3 players respawning back in. Jones's looking for some damage, and damage he is doing here. About, what, 70 points left to close out this entire series and go undefeated against Eanix over the course of the spring season. And Impact Gaming will be your champions of the spring season here for the Challenger Series of Guns of Boom.
That means, of course, they're going to take first seed coming out of North America, which includes a semifinal position at the Pro Series event in Brazil. Their opponents, unfortunately, will have to start from the quarterfinals, but both teams will still be headed to the LAN. Obviously, Impact, though, does get the advantage of having to play one less match, and obviously getting a lot more money for qualifying in a first seed spot.
Yeah, so we had some interesting games today, and actually some pretty good games as well. Quite surprised. Kind of went into the day, you know, thinking like, oh, okay, well, Great North America is not going to matter. Well, it did actually, since they're since Impact had their points tweaked a little bit, since they're both tied up at 450 apiece, and they're able to maintain their position as #1 over in North America, and of course over in Europe as well. Lazarus on the brink of potentially losing that #1 spot. They did come through big, came through at the right time, and they took it.
Yep.
Got their guaranteed first seed.
Almost ended up in a very kind of scary, at least for our admins, tie situation there. But thankfully didn't end up having to resort to that. We did have a clear winner in both regions today.
I think what I asked the admin is like, so what happens if they're tied on score? I just saw like a drop of sweat just go down his face like, no.
We gotta figure that out. But yeah, thankfully we didn't have to deal with that. So we are going to see both Lazarus along with Impact moving through as the top seeds for North America and Europe. And we also had, we talked about before, we had our Latin America and SEA region teams finishing off their cups today as well. And I'm pretty sure we have pretty decisive winners coming out of both of those regions too.
It was Bazookas and what was the Southeast Asian team? Cyclones?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we got those two teams. We can take a look at the bracket to see the two teams who are playing from North America now to represent the region. It's Impact and it's Eanix. And of course, over in Europe, a newcomer, Dust 2, going to be taking the #2 seed out of EU, with Lazarus taking #1.
And as such,
Yeah.
those teams will move forward. We'll see them play. Again, to get a nice little cross-regional clash between all those players, and that's going to be going on in just over a month's time, folks. Just to give you one little reminder of the dates. The Pro Series LAN will be in Brazil from June 7th to the 9th, I believe in that range there. So be sure to be checking out for more information on the schedule for that event, along with, obviously, the final bracket and where exactly you can watch your favorite teams.
You know what I want to see? I want to see like GI take all the players and talent out to Brazilian barbecue there. Just take over an entire restaurant.
Is it Sao Paulo or is it
I think it's Sao
Rio?
Paulo. I think it's Sao Paulo.
Oh, I've got a good one. Oh, it is in Sao Paulo.
There's one right next to like where we had IEM one year there. It was like this campus party, and it was like right around the corner from there. Me and like Freak and Rivington from
There is a
just went there.
Michelin-starred one that's relatively close to where ESL's done a lot of other events, and a lot of other esports events have been done, and it is like, oh my god.
That sounds as delicious as Impact's victory right there. 550 points, some of the highest we've seen, period, actually, now I think about it. I think we had almost about that from Latin America going into the Dallas event, into the Pro Series Texas. But hey, they've gotten their spot, and that's what it takes. Play week in, week out. Even in a cup that didn't really matter that much for them because they were still guaranteed to go through, they still played in it where a lot of other teams just backed out, didn't bother, like for instance, like Only Nation or Team NACL or No Name. And they stuck to their guns, and they got the first place seed, and they got a little extra money in their pocket. What is in there?
There's nothing in
there.
That's
a button.
No, I was about to say, just like,
I was like, why are your nipples really hard? But yeah, they've done it.
All right. Well, on that note, that is going to end the stream for today, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all very much for tuning in. As one final reminder, we are off next week. So obviously don't come next week for the stream, as it won't be here. But we will be returning the week afterwards. Unfortunately, I think Jason and myself may not be on the broadcast, but we'll have probably some new faces jumping on, maybe some old faces returning as well to bring you the broadcast in 2
Very
weeks'
old
time.
face.
It's a fun one, though. But so thank you once again, folks, for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next broadcast for Guns of Boom.